Another ScoBuffs 22 tweet I wanted to highlight because I think it's interesting. It talks a little bit about, what we brought in versus what we lost. So last year the Buffs had wow. Okay, hold on. Still learning this whole screen share thing. There we go. Nice, cool. Last year the Buffs had 27 players that accounted for 299 stops. So as it alludes to here, PFF defines that as a tackle that constitutes a failure for the offense. So a tackle that in one way or another forces the offense to have to either punt or causes a turnover on downs. Jeremiah Brown and Tawfiq Bayard led the way with 37 and 36 respectively. And then this year, the Buffs added 23 players on defense that counted for 382 stops. So more guys that are hungry on third down are making plays that aren't giving up that third and long type of situation or third and short. Gideon Lamprin, ESPN Lamprin, Balansama Kamara, Ezra Christensen, Lamont Lester, all guys we've talked about on the defensive line, a couple edge guys in there, a couple linebackers. I think it's just good to see. Again, we're talking about production. We're talking about guys who have been around in games and high-level games on third down, are making plays, getting stops. This was on pressures, so obviously Arden Walker led the Buffs defense with 27 pressures last season. Lamont Lester had borderline double that. And I know it's at a lower level. Trust me, I understand that there are levels to this. But I think it does, to an extent, just highlights a little bit about some of the things that go on in terms of production, right? You hear this term all the time, like production. They brought in a lot of production, but we want to break it down a little bit into essentially like, what does that actually mean? What is production and what is valuable production at the position that you're actually going to be playing? So good stuff there. Shout out to Matt, ScoBucks22, great follow. Friend of the show. Cool. Next one on the list, cooking through the Ralphie report here again. I want to say 20 minutes in. Thank you guys for being here. Happy Friday. Appreciate all the love in the chat and you guys engaging with everything. I want to, continue to shout out some of the stuff we've been doing recently. If you didn't see it, last Monday, not this previous Monday, the Martin Luther King Day, I put out a two breakdown videos that were of the offensive transfers and the defensive transfers. So I was looking at who went in, who came out, rankings, grades, all this stuff. They're both like 45 minutes long. Go check them out. Give them a thumbs up. Let me know if you have any thoughts or kind of what your general opinion of these classes are. And it helps out the channel a lot when you engage with it. So I appreciate those guys on that. Next one on the list, coming in from Keep It Real Buffs, Tristan Moreau. I'm so bad. I apologize. Defensive lineman didn't play too much for the Buffs this year, like a couple of snaps in a couple of games. Did get a CFL invite to the combine, which is cool. So good for him. Again, didn't play too much in his time at Boulder, but I think he's like a 6'4", 250 type of build. So who knows? Could get a shot in the CFL, and we wish him the best of luck on his journey. And I apologize for the terrible pronunciation of your last name. If you end up watching this, I doubt it. Cool. Moving on through. On the college football side, I want to talk about this because we brought it up on Wednesday's show, but this is like a new development in what's going on here. Is Ole Miss caught tampering again? So we talked a little bit about it a couple of days ago with Dabo Swinney calling out Ole Miss, calling out Pete Golding in blatant tampering. So Ole Miss, if you didn't catch up with this, so Fresno State came out basically saying that they did the same thing to their wide receiver, Josiah Freeman. And so as you can see here, allegedly was contacted by staff, so it was Mississippi football program earlier this month. They declined to comment, but they said Fresno State has receipts. And the part of this that I wanted to get to, or I wanted to bring up, was where does it end, right? Like at what point, what has to happen for somebody to actually do something about this, right? So in theory, you could just go to any player at any university based on what I've seen in the last 2 weeks. You could go to any player at any university and say, hey, just either de-enroll at your current university or unenroll, not de-enroll, whatever. Unenroll at your current university. We'll give you more money. Come play for us. There is literally nothing that stops any head coach, any recruiting staff from doing that. There are like technically violations for it. And they're actually kind of severe if you look them up, like the college football tampering violations. You can lose scholarships, you can lose bowl eligibility, like things like that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, my question is like, at what point does it hit a wall? Is there a university that actually steps up and says something and says, and for the record, Reginald, I'm not talking about specifically Ole Miss. I'm just acknowledging the fact that this has happened twice in the course of 1 week or 2 weeks that this has come out, and 2 schools have receipts on it. I'm not saying that Ohio State does it. It's not a problem. I think everyone that does it is a problem. I think CU doing it is a problem. My question is, why are we just making it okay? Like, why are we just being like, well, everybody does it, so we might as well do it too? When did we get to that level, right? Like, when did we get to the point where we just decided that they can't police any of this? We shouldn't have any rules. There's no guidelines, and we should just give up. Like, is that what we're doing? Is that what we're just going to throw unlimited money into the sport, allow all the tampering that is possible, and then that's just what we're doing? We're setting kids up for great success if that's what's going to happen, in my opinion. I don't think it's good in any capacity. I'm not targeting Ole Miss in this. It's just the fact that it's come out in the news twice in 2 weeks. If Ohio State gets called out for it multiple times in 2 weeks, I'll cover it the same way. Same with Indiana. But multiple schools said they have receipts. So maybe it's just Pete Golden not doing a great job covering up his tracks. Who knows? I'm just acknowledging the fact that it's come up multiple times. Okay, this is on a lighter note, moving on through. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this was kind of hilarious, and I just want to share it because it's thinking about college football at large. Ohio, University of Ohio, not the better of the 2 schools that are in Ohio, updated their logo change. And I saw a little bit about this. Like, it's like they made the green a little bit darker, and then they made the lettering around Ohio a little bit rounder. But they didn't tell the athletic department this. They just it was like the board of trustees made a change to it, and then they just found out through Twitter. They weren't consulted at all. It's not a huge change. I don't think anyone really cares about Ohio athletics and the nuances of how their logo is generated. But it just was like a funny little thing where I was like, how do you not actually consult anybody that's in the athletics department that has to, create a new basketball court and get new uniforms? Like, how do you not talk about that at all? I don't know. I thought that was a little funny from around the horn in college football. And yeah, cool.